We are the foundation, bulletproof the hating from the plantation. We built the whole nation. We are the foundation, bulletproof the hating from the plantation. We built the whole nation. We are the foundation, bulletproof the hating from the plantation. We built the whole nation. We are the foundation, bulletproof the hating from the plantation. We built the whole nation.
Yo, what's good, Foundational family? I want y'all to check out this FBA Twitter space where they were discussing everything FBA related, from Pan-Africanism to religion. Now, this Twitter space is a little over an hour long, so you're gonna listen to it at work or while you're in the car chilling. This video is fair use, so sit back and enjoy the show.
I'm gonna vote for Trump next year.
Hey, you see how they pipe up? You see how they get how they start bucking at us when Dem is in office, bro? But when a Republican is in office, they're so sweet. Nigga, when this whole country turns red,
everything. I could show you a post where I was it's like, nigga. Well, I don't do the whole liberal conservative thing. I could show you a post, nigga. I said I was voting Trump, nigga, about 6-7 years ago, nigga. Bet that was whoever's in it, like
John Tresky, y'all say you don't want them. Is it Bodie, Ohio? Come on, y'all say you don't want them in Ohio or Carolina or whatever. Look, if you don't want them in our spaces, it's an easy fix to that. You want to keep them elsewhere in the country. What you do is you do the same thing that racist white people do. Put some, like how they put Confederate flags up and niggas like, oh, so I can't look. Nigga, put some motherfucking FBA flags up, whether you care about it or not.
Yo, make sure you pick the FBA flag. The
FBA specific. Hell no. Y'all saw that video. Y'all saw that video with Bobo where he had the FBA flag in front of his house on camera. That's the Confederate flag that people gonna put the FBA flag up. They not gonna come around.
Bro. Yeah, they don't fuck with no FBA. Tell you that right now.
Don't pick the Juneteenth one up. That's too. I'm sorry, but it's too friendly.
It's too welcoming, nigga.
Yeah, it's too approachable.
The Black American Heritage flag, yeah, it was the FBA flag.
No, I'm telling you, that's how you do it. Listen, even if you can't keep them out the country right now, if you want to keep them out of your spaces, you got to do it racist white people. You got to be overly hostile to them, like where we at, right? In certain neighborhoods, it's like historically Irish, right? It's Irish people. Even when you go through those neighborhoods, let alone try to buy a house there, it's not gonna happen because they too hostile to you. You just can't live it. So you just got to do the same thing. Let it be known, no, you're not Black American. You can't live here. You just can't.
Yeah, you got to make it uncomfortable for them, bro. Like, this is why they're leaving the UK. Why are you leaving? It's not about like, oh, my country's poor, so I had to come here for. Nigga, you're in the UK. Why are you leaving the UK? It's not about like welcome at this point. It's about comfort. So like they're feeling uncomfortable. They're feeling the heat in the UK, and so they come here. They move around us. They move up to Atlanta. They find a boyfriend. You saw those tweets saying like, yo, I'm gonna find me a man in Atlanta or whatever, right? So
they mean another African, by the way. They don't mean us.
Yeah,
we ain't going from, but like, you know, you do have some like dusty ass niggas to be like,
and a lot of African women are bringing their African husbands over here too.
All
these
dusty ass niggas. Speaking of Dresky,
caught one in.
That's one thing that we miss out on, bro. Like,
because I got finished talking to one in Atlanta like 2 weeks ago.
Bro, they have this immigration thing down to a fucking science, bro. Like, really, like they have a whole like, yeah.
Yeah, she was from she's from some Guinea, right? She said she brought her boyfriend from Nigeria, but he was living in Paris, so she brought that nigga all the way from Paris to over here, and now he got his green card, and she up there crying, talking about he left me for another bitch. But yeah, they got this shit down to a science, man. This immigration shit, you right,
bruh.
For another African, of course.
You're right, Shadow. I want to agree with you, right? Because you said something like, "Yo, let's stay spread out, or whatever." I kind of disagree, though. I look at what immigrants are doing. I'm like, yo, we could do that same exact thing and more because we're in our country, right? So they start off in one area, and I swear to God, bro, I was a kid, and I remember Middle Easterners being packed into Dearborn, bro. And now they're living in different like suburbs now, bro. Same thing with Mexicans, bro. When I was a kid, I don't remember Mexicans being in Texas like that, bro. I knew they were always there, but like it wasn't like what it is. I don't think it was what it is now. You know what I mean? You would think like, yo, this is at the border, yada yada yada. But now, bro, like you have them in fucking DC, bro. You have them in New York City, bro. New York fucking city, bro. You saw that video of them celebrating the Independence Day?
That was crazy.
Dude, like, this is what happened. They start off in a small area, and then because here's the thing, when you don't...
Bro, they claiming the Harlem Renaissance, bro.
Oh my God, T-Roy, really quick.
Guyana claiming the Harlem Renaissance.
That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. But let me say this really quickly because it's important, right? When you're spread out like this, bro, like you look at people in the north, people in the far west, right, Pacific West. It's hard to like maintain like communities because you're kind of spread out. It's hard to find potential mates and whatnot. You see a lot of women who are single in like California, they complain about it and they say, oh, girl, go down south or whatever, find your man. It's like, yeah, I went down south, I found me a man or whatever. We joke about it, right? Like that's what happens when you don't live around your people, right? The options are limited, so you're not going to have a lot of babies. But if you live in a concentrated area, you're going to get married, and when you're married, women who are married, they have more babies while they're married, right? And so like now your population is going to increase and it's just going to expand naturally, right? That's what's going to happen. That's how we can do it. But how do we get people to live in a concentrated area is the problem, bro. Like, how do we get that to happen? Like, I've been thinking of like solutions or whatever, but I've been talking long enough. You know what I mean? I just want to throw that out there.
I mean, for one, we gonna have to make our people builders again. So we're gonna need construction companies and trades and them type of not necessarily the jobs, but the mindset, like the mindset to be able to go somewhere and really start construction projects. Because we gonna have to develop some shit. Because unfortunately, a lot of our people, they're not trying to move to the south like that because it's not built up. But if Mississippi was built up like Houston, they'd be there. So we need to do that.
Bro, I gotta give it to the Muslims, bro. The Muslims are the ones moving to small-ass towns in the South, bro. You know why? For religious reasons, right? We can dive into that. That can be like another space or whatever. But like, the NOI, Sunni Muslims even, bro, like, they're kind of holding it down, like, in a very subtle way. That
Oh, yeah, the NOI gonna hold it down, for sure.
You know what I mean? Like they're getting married. I see the weddings on Instagram or whatever. You feel me? Like, dude, I'm like, yo, why am I not? When I was a kid, bro, I would see weddings like that for like just regular Black Americans. But now it was like the NOI, they're the main ones still like having these big weddings, these beautiful weddings, yada, yada, yada. And the people, they look clean. They don't look like they've been smoking Black and Miles. All the women, they don't look like they've been like smoking weed or whatever. You know what I mean? They look clean. They have pink lips, all that shit, bro. Like, you feel me? Like,
they got the right mindset, bro. Unfortunately, a lot of our folks, especially living up north, is disconnected from the mindset that they're supposed to have. So it's like naturally, right? Just if you a man or whatever, you gonna want to get you some land, get you some space, but not to just have it. You gonna get it so that you could build a house out there, build your gun range, build a driveway. If you whatever you want to do, you just have your own little construction project and your own piece of land. Niggas just don't have that mindset, so we gotta like forcibly put that shit back in motherfuckers. We gotta force
that New York City live in that northern nigga rent in a place like New York City like fucking $7 grand for like these little ass apartments and some shit.
Bro, GK, let them stay there. Like those people up there.
But I'm saying these Black Americans, like Marty, for instance. You know how you said like it's a million of us still here, like we still the majority of that, right? Like, bro, all New Yorkers, all they know or whatever. Like, they like that diversity and all the little different foods, cultures and shit. They like that shit. Like, yeah, New York, like.
If you leave our community in a time of need like this, bro, we should start viewing them as like traitors. We have like, I'm not trying to get like extreme like that, bro, but like, bro, we should start really looking at them.
Get extreme.
We should not look at them as like, oh, it's fine. Like, if you leave your community, when we're like,
they're doing that. They can stay. They can stay out there, get assimilated.
And bro, we watched that tweet of that Jamaican woman in Atlanta. I sent you that tweet of. I hope I didn't cut you off because you were breaking up. I wasn't. So let me know. Yeah. So no, I sent you that tweet of that Jamaican woman living in Atlanta, bro. Because I thought we were gonna have a space last night. I thought Jurassic was gonna start one or whatever. Maybe I was gonna start one. I can't remember. But I sent it to you because I wanted to save it, bro. And I couldn't bookmark it. And I didn't want to like her to like change her profile picture or whatever. But she's Jamaican, living in Atlanta, and and she's a New York Giants fan, bro. Remember what I told you about how a lot of like the fandom gets passed down? You know what I mean? Like I'm a fan of the teams I'm a fan of simply because of my father, bro, and my uncles or whatever. Like that's just what it is. You have the same thing there, bro. Like this is what I'm talking about with like ethnicity, bro. Like what you're saying is so true, bro. Like New York is becoming like its own. The way these Jamaicans are viewing New York is like their homeland now, bro. Like these and not just Jamaican Americans, bro. Not just Jamaican Americans. You have Jamaicans in Jamaica who view New York City as an extension of Jamaica. Remember when I told you about those two dudes that came up from Jamaica, assassinated that one other Jamaican, and then went back to Jamaica like it was nothing? You know what I mean? And for a lot of I've even heard Bahamians, I believe, I think they're Bahamians, talk about certain parts of Florida as being an extension of Florida. Like,
oh yeah.
They really view, you know what I mean? They view America very differently, bro. Like, they don't look at these borders the way we look at these borders, bro.
I mean, you heard what Pia just said. It's a nation of immigrants, so it's time again. I said it before. It's
not that. It's not a nation of immigrants. It's becoming. They're forming their own nations with it's like a nation of nations at this point, bro. Like you have if you're telling me like, hey, I'm a Bahamian and I view this section of Florida as an extension, like you're viewing it as part of your nation, and I guarantee you're gonna like treat it like it is, bro. You're gonna like discriminate people who are not Bahamian moving into your little part of Florida or whatever.
That's what it is, bro. We just late to the party. That's what it's always been.
Hispanics, remember, there's some parts, bro. Remember those black girls were complaining they couldn't get those jobs? They're like teenagers, right? They couldn't get jobs somewhere in Florida because they couldn't speak Spanish. In their country, bro, in their homeland, right? And dude, so yeah, this is important to understand. You know what I mean? I'm not saying there's actually like a New York and Jamaican ethnicity forming or whatever, but like they are forming like these attachments.
Bro, I'm saying, no, I'm talking about genetically. There's something new forming out there. If it goes on for another 2 or 3 generations, they're going to form literal new ethnic. It's going to be like Creoles, dog. It's going to be like Creoles. It's going to be like Delta Igbos. It's going to be like Gullah Geechee. All these other shit with niggas next with something else.
It's already been a generation. It's been 20 years.
American, Nigerian American. That's what they call themselves.
But think about every person needs a community to feel a part of, right? It's motherfuckers in New York that's a quarter Black American, a quarter Jamaican, a quarter Dominican, and a quarter Puerto Rican. So the people don't want to feel like they the odd man out, like they just an individual. So what they naturally gonna do is they're gonna start to form their new identity outside of what we got going on. They're literally gonna form a new ethnic group, and you know, just like we say, an ethnic group is not necessarily based on genetics, not necessarily. So they can do it. They're forming new ethnic groups. They're doing it.
It's natural. It's natural. It's actually more natural than people think.
Hey y'all.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, CT. What's up, CT? Oh, it's Brina. It's Brina again.
Did y'all miss me?
What are you still doing?
After seeing that census, no.
Yeah, your presence is like making us anxious actually right now. Like we're actually
Why? What'd I do?
Yeah, get used to these mixed spaces, Quan, where you have like Dominicans, Jamaicans, you know what I mean?
Oh, fucking shit. Y'all
It's a mixed America, I guess.
y'all in here on that bullshit
Not the
again?
Pat tweet.
Fucking shit. Hey, GK.
He has a thinking emoji, Quan. He's like, should I move there?
Nah, the thing is like, I'm surprised that niggas even in Cali. Like that's the most common part for
I
his
didn't know there were so many Ethiopians and Eritreans in Cali, bro. In Seattle.
There's not that many, but there's many in Seattle. And
They all
there's
San
a shit
Diego,
ton of them
Somalis
in
in San
DC
Diego.
and Mira.
There's a lot of Eritrean things
Bro,
in
how
LA.
do you end up in these random ass states, bro? Fucking Seattle.
That's what they just move places.
Bro, dude,
They just move
end up in the
places.
or not, nigga. I've seen fucking Sudanese people there too, like the North, like Arab Sudanese people. Hell of them, nigga. Like it's fucking shit. I'm not gonna get riled up. There's no fucking point in talking about it.
Yeah. Yeah, bro. Like that's crazy. I'm glad she left. I was thinking about kicking her.
Not just that. Hey, listen, bro. I've been telling you, y'all talk about Ohio, y'all talk about New York, nigga, Minnesota, fucking soda, dude. Y'all have, nigga, take a trip out there one day. take a trip out. That shit is like the United Nations. I swear to God.
Nigga, I already know.
No, I believe.
You don't know that.
Y'all remember when Trump made that tweet and all the motherfuckers was from Minnesota, bro?
You have to go. You have to go. You have to go and see it for yourself, bro.
Bro,
it's
scary because these things really happen overnight, bro. If you think about it, like even Columbus, I had a Nike account there, bro. You know what I mean? And it wasn't like, and it wasn't long ago. I'm not gonna dox my age or whatever, but just trust me, bro. Like it was not fucking. But to hear that there's so many, like there's a fucking immigrant gang now, bro. Bantu 8,000, whatever they call themselves. You know what I mean? I think they're Somali Bantus, bro. That should scare you, bro.
I ain't never seen them myself. I was
I don't know. This between Columbus and Minnesota.
Bro, I was gone for less than a year, bro, and I came back, like I keep saying, bro. I had never seen so many Hindus in my life, bro, ever. The same area I grew up in, everything, bro. So many fucking Hindus just walk, and fresh off the boat Hindus, bro. They got the dot on their heads and everything, bro. You know what I mean?
Fresh over the Mexican border.
They even got the aunties, bro. The fucking aunties, bro. Like, they got their whole families, bro. Like, fresh off the boat, bro. You feel me? Like, dude.
No, they're coming over the Mexican border. Don't be fooled. They coming over like the Mexicans.
Bro, and it's crazy, Shadow, to see women taking that trip now, bro. Like, pregnant woman. And, like, from Africa. From Congo.
They've been doing that though. They birthright citizenship, nigga. That's why they purposely how they children like born here, so they can have them birth here, then they take them back home.
Yeah. So back to solutions, bro. This is why I want to support the NOI. I want to snatch this back from like those Caribbean hands, bro. Those yellow Caribbean hands of Farrakhan. I want to snatch it back. I don't want him to sort of like, even with the council, bro. Like I gotta look into who's ahead of that. Because I saw his son. He has like, I don't know if he wants some sort of like dynastic rule or whatever of the NOI where it's like a Caribbean. Bro, that's not going to happen, bro. That's not going to happen.
That motherfucker so compromised the NOI, bro. It's just compromised.
Yeah. That's definitely what he's trying to do. He's trying to bring his son, like, and it never went like that. You know, it never went like that. Whose son?
Farrakhan.
His son don't even be out there like that.
No, but the thing is,
Isn't his son married to a cracker?
One of them.
I heard his son married to a cracker.
One of them is, but this is the thing, bro. Like, I feel I was gonna say.
Farrakhan a half cracker. His father's Jewish.
His father's Jewish.
He's a kite. That's a lie.
No, his father.
That's a truth.
Huh?
His father's Jewish.
Yeah. His father's the kite, Jones, right?
Most of the pictures.
Hold on. What you mean his father's like black big stuff?
No, his father's a white man.
No, he's a kite. Yeah, he's a kite.
I posted this picture on my profile.
Trey, you see that man's face, bro? Does he look like a pure Negro?
He don't look like a Negro at all.
Louis Farrakhan got a Jewish daddy.
Yeah, Safari just
lying like a motherfucker, bro.
Safari, dude, what are you talking about? This is common knowledge.
Fuck y'all talking about?
Yo, Trey, I feel like Trey is his whole world is like turned upside down finding out that news. But yeah, bro, we gotta snatch it back, bro. I feel like the HBCUs are gonna take some more time. You know what I mean? But we really need to make this whole country feel like very uncomfortable for them, bro. Like,
we need the militias, dog. We need the militias. That's gonna be the backbone of this bitch.
I want to hear
more niggas
to like go back to Africa. I want to hear people saying like, yeah, my dad said I can't be friends with you because you're African or you're Caribbean. Like, it needs to be that, bro. Like, I want to see job discrimination. You know what I mean? We need to own businesses and start discriminating. They do this shit to us, bro, without even thinking about it, bro. I told you, bro, like, a lady charged me more than when she found out I was American. And then she gave, like, her Jamaican countryman or whatever, like, a low discount, bro. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, bro. You know what I mean? Like, this is before, like, all the 80 West shit or whatever. Before I knew about it. I mean, before I knew about it, before I learned about it, whatever, before I got on Twitter. And yeah, dude, like, it's getting, like, that's how they are, bro. And this is outside of America. Like, this is how they are, bro. So, like, it just needs to, it's not perfect, bro. Business.
Yeah, I got to order that FBA flag, yeah.
I got one. Bro, I'm telling you, like I said, bro, you would never be able, hold on. You would never be You would never be You would never be able to move into a neighborhood that's got a Confederate flag hanging up. No, you wouldn't, because it'd be too much pressure on you. So that's what we need to be on. We do that, they not gonna be by us. They gonna move somewhere else.
Just put that shit on your lawn, bro. Put on your lawn.
I got one.
Yeah, bro, even for the white people see that flag, bro. Because I know we're like used to. I want them niggas to be like very, because they're already like that. They already leave the neighborhoods when we move in. You know what I mean? If they just see a Negro walking down the street, they leave. They're out. You know.
That's how a lot of the Jewish neighborhoods got taken over by black folks. My uncle, he bought my grandparents their first house. Was a Jewish. He had to go through a Jewish man to get it from.
Hey,
back from the Air Force.
We got to talk about. I know we kind of got into it before. We didn't really argue, but it was like it was very kind of heated. You know what I mean? The whole history thing, bro. Like it's getting serious, bro. People talking about like the Jewishness of like the Igbos or whatever, and talking about like their Igbo, like
fuck them niggas.
I stand on it, bro. The IPOB headquarters, that shit kind of fucking with me.
Yeah, these niggas the sword, nigga. It's time to start offering these niggas.
The IPOB headquarters, that shit needs to be attacked over. That IPOB
I just don't
headquarters.
believe in genocide other than like the European immigrants. Like,
Nah, nigga.
You gotta get that IPOB shit out of here.
It's
bro, we gotta start emphasizing how we've aligned with Muslims, no matter what. Even if you're like not religious or you're Christian or whatever, how we've aligned with the NY historically. We gotta start emphasizing that, bro. We gotta we're under their fold, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? We gotta start emphasizing that fucking heavy, bro. The whole black community is underneath this big Islamic, unapologetically Islamic organization, bro, in America. The first one in America, right? If I'm not mistaken, or one of the first ones. You know what I mean? We gotta start emphasizing that.
and not just that, but it goes back longer than that. It's deeper than that. We got some of parts of our lineage have a damn near like almost 1,000-year history with Islam. So we have to tie that whole thing in there. That's how we gonna get these folks off of.
Yeah, I want, when they come to like, bro, why the fuck am I, like, even that one chick talking about like, yeah, kata, yada yada yada. By the way, I don't really get offended. Like, it's hard for me to get offended, bro. I'm not gonna lie, because I kind of look down on them in a way, and so like it's hard for them.
Yeah. Kind of view them as such.
Like, bro, I have a burner, and I just follow like white people, and it's so funny to me. Like, they just freak out. They always bring up the quote unquote niggers and yada yada yada. I'm like, bro, do something, bro. It's like you complaining in spaces 24/7, bro. Shit, it's comedy, bro. I love it. But like, sometimes I respond to it, bro, because like we need to start making the Igbos like the fucking enemy number fucking one, bro. You know what I mean? They need to be like
why the Igbos?
Yeah, the miniature Jews, bro. I want to make these niggas like the miniature Jews.
But why the Igbos?
Huh?
They said we cousins and shit. I just seen somebody say we fucking cousins or some shit.
Yeah, we're cousins, and like we need to fight their epic battle, like that.
Nah, no. I'm just curious.
Are you evil lover, Quan? Are you evil lover?
No, nigga, I'm not an evil lover. And not just that, but think about it. We said this before. The Muslim Africans is not even trying to connect with us, bro. Senegalese is not trying to connect with us like that. With the Sierra Leoneans, they not trying. The only ones that's doing it is these English-speaking Christian motherfuckers. So that's how we gonna have to do it now. That's how we have to do it.
Yo. Nigga, you a Muslim real, bro.
The only reason why the Igbos are enemies is because they're many Jews.
What? Can you give me co-host? Can you give me co-host?
Nah, the Jewish flag is crazy.
Give me a co-host, my nigga. Give me co-host.
You really want co-host?
Oh yeah, he do. Because they do claim to have Nigerian ancestry.
Bro, I haven't heard one coherent word yet.
Jermaine did do ancestry DNA.
Okay, and I'm still hearing chatter. So I just wanted to hear that correctly. So it's just because they're Jews that they need to be enemies.
Yeah, these dirty Jews.
Why are we dirty?
Demites.
Nigga said we. No, just
Oh my God, that nigga knows his history. Oh my God, he knows what
Jermaine. It's the thing, Jermaine. Hold on, Jermaine. You're a Jew. Hold on, Jermaine. You're a Jew. Ebos are not Jews. You're Jewish. Ebos are not really Jewish.
Are you an Ebo?
Sir, no, sir.
Okay, well, out of respect for the Ebos, I'll let them label themselves who they are and what they want to be.
You a Hebrew Israelite?
No.
Nah, because you kind of sound like one.
He's Orthodox.
I'll take that as a compliment.
Yeah, and if you don't give me calls, I'm about to get to the just later. I just came, bro. I just came today.
I was actually.
Hold on, Jermaine. We need to really get this important shit out the way before we go into the Jew shit, right? But going back to the NOI, like maybe let's not emphasize like our relationship with them, but like what should be emphasized, something that people cannot take away from us, bro. No matter what, even if they try to play games and try to like cause division between us and the NOI, whatever, I don't think that will work, but whatever, because they're so a part of like our community, like on the ground. Like I see these people every day, bro, almost every day. But one thing they can't take away from us, one thing they can, all that they can do is like create like weird history narratives or whatever, is that like we come from a lot of Muslims, right? We descend from a lot of Muslims, you know what I mean? Like we have a strong Islamic heritage and ancestry and whatnot, right? So that's one thing we should start emphasizing, bro. No matter if you're like atheist, Christian, whatever, that should be emphasized. You know what I mean? But yeah, Jermaine, what were you asking him? You said something about a miniature Jew.
Well, no, you said that the Ebos were mini Jews. I was like, man, why can't they just explore their heritage? Like, it's not like all the Ebos are trying to be Jews. It's not like the Ebos are trying to like convert anybody into Nigeria into Jews. It's just that a couple groups of people who discovered the history just decided to start doing the old shit. You know, it's not a big deal.
I'm talking about their behavior, the way they behave. They behave like there's the stereotype, you know, the stereotype of Jews or whatever. Cause of every problem, yada yada yada. Like that's what I'm talking about. They're not.
I thought the lack of knowledge of history was the cause of most problems, but that's just me.
No, have you ever met Igbo before, bro?
Probably.
Yeah, they're the most annoying people ever. Hey, but how do y'all feel about people like complaining about, like, there's this one tweet of a Black American woman. She's saying like, hey, we should work with Liberia. And of fucking course, you have Black Americans in the fucking comments because they get, I'm sorry, bro, like, Quan, we got to bring this shit up again. The whole history thing. People get weird when you mention Africa. If Liberia were located in Costa fucking Rica, bro, niggas would not be complaining about that shit, bro. But because it's located in Africa, right, and people are saying like, hey, there's an African American community in Liberia, let's work with that community there. And it just so happens to be in Africa, in the continent of Africa, right? People get triggered. People lose it, bro. I'm not gonna say any names, but there's one particular person, bro, right? He's been trying to find connections with no, I'm not gonna go there. I'm not gonna say that. But like, yeah, it's weird, bro. I do think we need to start cultivating relationships. You know what I mean? And they don't have to be perfect, but we need to be more mature. You know what I mean about this? I don't think people should become like extremists or whatever. You know what I mean? It's good, but hold on, it's good that we're process. I love the criticism. I love this push and pull. You know what I mean? It helps me to like refine my arguments, the way I'm thinking about the situation, etc. But like, I'm sorry, bro. When we start talking about like relationships and whatnot, I bring up Liberia and people say fuck them. I bring up the Hausa and then people say no, fuck them too. You know what I mean? Like, they're gonna say something mean about me, even though I've never met one before, right? It's all rooted in fear, bro.
We need more Liberians in these spaces. We need more Liberians. We need more you need to add the groups that you think are the chosen ones and put them all in the fucking bundle, nigga, and put them in the fucking space so we can talk shit out. We can chop shit up. You know.
Yeah, so I don't see subhuman. I don't think Sierra Leone is I think they pretty chill people, to be honest.
Let's focus one place at a time. Like,
but we got Black Americans in Sierra Leone too, but
place at a time, bro. Liberia is a African American republic, bro. And you know, I get it. We got all these other countries in the world. I get it, bro. But like, let's not get too carried away, right?
But wasn't Liberia also like? There's also Caribbeans too, like the Afro-Caribbeans that came along with.
They were the minority, though. We were the vast majority. They were the minority.
But is the mistrust from Liberia really recent or does it come from its dubious history, though? So, yeah, there's been a lot of African Americans there, but wasn't those African Americans sent there by this thing called the African Colonization Society that was mostly whites? Right? So I think there might be some mistrust, but yeah, even that's a little ignorant.
So, okay, what was the reason for the Liberians so war to happen? Like, for all the niggas that fled? Because, like, you see the Vice videos. There's a reason why those Vice videos exist. What was the cost of that?
Videos are crazy, bro. Like, holy fuck, bro.
Yeah, but what was the reason for that?
Even the name is like General Butt Naked. It's like, bro, is this a comic? Is this like
but what caused these niggas to start eating like fucking their enemies' ass?
Even like Charles Taylor wasn't even left.
Like what caused
year did it come out?
I hate them niggas so
like a Trinidadian or some shit.
No,
what year?
The question is important. It's important to understand that history, and like that's something we can maybe like have a separate space on and dive into. You know what I mean? Because it's kind of complex. I'm gonna be honest with you. There's a lot going on there. But like my thing is this, bro. Like, look, like whatever you do, bro. Like it's the nature of running a country, right? You're gonna run into problems, bro. You're gonna have like there's a coup in fucking Germany, bro.
But yeah, Germany. The videos came out in 2011. So
what'd you say?
20 what?
2011, like the Vice videos.
Okay.
That had to be Vice's easily Vice's most popular video, and it was about.
Really, my favorite one from them is when they went to the Gambia. They called it the Jamaica of Africa.
I didn't see that one.
What was that? Right. That one was good, bro. Basically, they went over to the Gambia because the Gambia's got a horrible reputation, and they tried to put a good light on the people, even though, you know, economically it's one of the poorer countries. They really did do a good job to really represent the people positively, or as positively as white media could. I mean, there was a lot of homage to the Rastafari culture and reggae and that kind of stuff, but it was still it wasn't a hit piece at all.
Keep in mind, Vice was founded by Gavin McInnes, so don't forget that. So I would never expect them to do the right thing.
Who's that?
The founder of the Proud Boys.
Yeah, y'all gotta remember, I knew Vice was racist since they first started putting out videos. Remember, if y'all don't remember, their first videos was making black people look dumb as fuck. And I'm not just talking about African, I'm talking about just black people everywhere. They gotta like, and this is, you know, like 10 years ago or shit. I remember they had like one of their most viewed videos is of a Ugandan with his eyes poking out because he's drunk. Talking about Uganda's the drunkest country in the world and shit. Like, guess what they do? They go all around the world showing black people in the most fucked up situations, and then be the top videos on their whole fucking platform and shit. So I've been knowing Vice was on some bullshit.
It's poverty porn. It's poverty porn. Like, it's like you gotta remember, like, they think that it's good even though they profit off it. So it's this weird twisted logic to it, though. But just from what I know about Liberia, I know that the natives have been beefing with the Americans pretty much since they landed. Since the Americans landed, and they had some help with the formation of the initial government there, that it was inadvertently set up to benefit the Black Americans, because when we got there, we were the ones with the quote-unquote literacy and the quote-unquote education. So, quote-unquote, that made us better for leadership at the time. And then over the course of time, of course, the locals eventually got tired of that shit. So they overthrew a good deal of that government, like way back in the day. But there's just been tensions between the quote-unquote indigenous people and the quote-unquote descendants of the Amerindians. Even though genetically they probably mixed, you know, tens of 20 times since then. They're probably
It sounds like they used us as Indians over there.
Oh yeah, that's the number one strategy. That's the real strategy of the West, to import a minority to do the illegal work of international war. So that's why a lot of people in America, once you learn about the American Colonization Society, it's not like you don't put that on the Liberian people, but it kind of gives you a distrust of whatever infrastructure they might have in place, I would say.
I mean, the history is complex, you know what I mean?
Let G-Star speak on it.
Yeah, I think G-Star, I may have stepped away from his phone. But the history is complex. I won't, you know, like there's a lot of bad history around Liberia. You know what I mean?
Do you want to connect with all Liberians or just the American Liberians? Like, what's up with that?
No,
like all Liberians.
I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. Like, when I say Liberia, I'm mainly talking about, like, I'm looking at it as an African American republic. It's like when people say, hey, I want to work with America. I don't think they're talking about, like, every nigga in America, like, every single group in America. I don't think they're talking about Mexicans, Chicanos, you know what I mean? I don't think they're talking about, like, you know, Ethiopian Americans or whatever. You get my point? Like, for the most part, I think they're focusing on, like, the Anglo-Americans. You get me?
Got you.
So, like, that's what when I say Liberia, I'm looking at Liberia as, like, an African-American republic. You know?
Hey, yo, they dress like Dipset over there, bro. Like, they be rocking the American flag over there. Like, they look like that one video after 9/11. Like the street culture there, they really do embrace, like, the American flag. Like, they rock it. But I think those are just, like, the descendants of those people, though. So you do have, like, a very...
I think those are, like, natives, because you got to keep in mind, like, even in Ghana, like, everywhere, like, people are, like, we're seen everywhere, you know what I mean? We're very...
But not like they literally dress like Santana from that video. Like, they wear, like, American bandanas, American flag bandanas. Or they have, like, an American flag.
It's the same throughout the world, bro. It's the same throughout the world.
Even when you speak about, like, the whole Civil War and stuff, right? They was literally, like, they like the allegiances or whatever, the side that was fighting against each other or whatever, right? They was picking between, like, Biggie or Tupac or some shit. Like, that was what they militias or alliances or whatever was, like, based on. Like, it was Biggie and Tupac. The shit was crazy, bro.
Yeah,
I gotta go find that.
But
they're malicious, bro. They crazy as hell.
That's like, very... Our conversation's, like, devolving into, like, some jungle shit, bro. Like, I'm literally talking about, like, a republic founded by it was a very civilized republic. I don't know what the fuck is going on now I don't know what they're doing, dressing like Dipset and calling themselves General Butt Naked and shit like that, bro. That's not what I'm trying to get involved in. But, like, the point I was making was, like, yo, why do we get so triggered when we mention, like, anything that has to do with Liberia, bro? We gotta be more mature, bro. We gotta grow up, you know what I mean? I'm not... Huh?
No, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, the first thing is people don't have a solid understanding of Liberia, so the narrative, especially in our spaces, the narrative is that it was a psyop. The American government sent some dumb niggas over there to basically take the natives' land and oppress them, and we went over there and oppressed them, and we enslaved them, and they'll show that picture. So the first thing is we don't know the history. The history is distorted. And then the second thing is folks want heavy delineation. Anything to do with Africa is fuck Africa. It's just as simple as that.
Yeah, it's not even thinking. It's like
it's emotional.
It's the knee-jerk reaction. It's like, Africa, fuck Africa, right? When they hear Africa, the response means fuck Africa. You know what I mean?
Hey, you know what I did last week, right? So in the FBA group chat, right? They was in there just talking about Africa, Africans, whatever normal shit. We was talking about Africans. Somebody, I don't know if you remember this, somebody posted a video of Ghana with they pulled out this huge piece of gold out the ground. I don't know if y'all remember it. It was a piece of gold, like a brick of gold the size of like a washing machine. Literally, it took like 5 people to roll it out the ground, right? I saw that. Right. So and under the comments, I replied and I said we need mines in Ghana. And I wanted to see if anybody was going to thumbs it up or reply to me or anything. Nobody said anything. You know, maybe they just saw it and agreed with me in their head, but some
of these is hood rats, man. They ain't really they don't got diplomatic insight about nothing like that. When we talked about this, I brought this shit up like a month ago, remember? I was talking about the trade and shit. I feel about it.
Just let me finish it. Maybe they saw what I said and agreed in their mind or whatever. Maybe they didn't see the post. I'm under the suspicion that they posted a video of a motherfucker literally rolling out a piece of gold the size of a washing machine. I replied to it. It said Black Americans need mines in Ghana. I'm under the suspicion that they was like, nigga, fuck Africa, nigga, fuck Africa. I don't want nothing to do with it. I don't care if they got motherfucking gold the size of cars over there. I don't want it. Fuck Africa. That's what I think. So that's what we're dealing with.
I feel like these conversations, I feel like they're better left for like off Twitter, you know what I mean? Like, even especially when you start talking about like resources, bro, like you gotta keep in mind people go to war for this shit, bro. You know what I what I mean? I don't think we should casually. I get what you're trying to do. You're trying to, like, you know, figure people out or whatever. But, like, I think just generally speaking, I'm not trying to, like, you know, I'm not really referring to any incident or any, like, situation or any person or whatever. But, like, I think when it comes to things like that, I feel like that's for, like, off Twitter. You know what I mean? I feel like, in fact, I don't think it's like Trey was kind of saying, like, it's not a conversation for everybody, bro. I feel like it's for people who are a bit more, who are like at the political level, not just for like the everyday person, you know what I mean? Not for like the masses to sort of like engage in, you know what I mean? But
right, I just wanted to see how they respond with that. That's the video on the Jumbotron. Nobody agreed. Nobody said anything. No.
You know what it is? It's something. It's fear, bro. A lot of it is like a very primal emotion, bro. You know what I mean? It's a fear of like the unknown. It's fear of doing something that we're not used to doing. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like we're not used to talking about Africa in this way, bro. We're not used to like thinking about like the African part of like, you know, our past or whatever. Like in a very like casual way. Like you don't see us like just randomly mentioning ancient Mali, just randomly without getting like political or whatever. But for white people, bro, like when they talk about like ancient Greece, ancient Rome, or whatever, or the Gola, whatever, it just comes up casually, bro. Like you could be walking down some sort of like town square or whatever, and a guy could be taking pictures or something, and you could like bump into him, you could start up a conversation, and randomly his European heritage comes up. You know what I mean? Like even with like all these different groups, bro, like you learn so much about these people just from like living around them, you know? But for us, bro, nobody knows anything about like Africa just by living around us, bro. Nobody knows anything about like our American history just by living around us. They may know about like police brutality or whatever, but nobody knows about the history of the blues. Nobody knows about like our European heritage. You know what I mean? As a European like history as it relates to us or whatever. So like I feel like a lot of it is just like it's something we got to start getting used to. I don't know how. I've been trying to figure out how to like lay a foundation or get a foundation laid or whatever to like sort of like open us up for it and to talk about it in a very mature way. Don't be like one of these niggas wearing like talking about Egypt, wearing an ankle chain and talking about like the lost Jewish tribe or whatever. Don't be silly. You know what I mean? Don't be weird. You know, don't be. You're gonna get made fun of. You're gonna get mocked. Nobody's gonna take you seriously. You know what I mean?
Quit taking shots at me, nigga.
I'm not taking, bro. I'm sorry. I'm not taking some shots at anybody.
Nigga, I don't give a fuck if y'all like this shit or not, cause I'm gonna keep doing this.
Trey, I swear to God, I was not taking a shot at you, bro. Like, it's just something I was gonna mention Indian as well. All these different like groups or whatever, Indian, Egypt, Jew, whatever. Let's not do that. You know what I mean? Like there's a very immediate, relevant history, right, that we can talk about. Jewish tribes is not Jewish ties, whatever, is not one. Egypt is not one. Indian whatever is not one. You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm talking about. We need to be a bit more mature and level-headed when talking about this, or we're not going to be taken seriously. And that's the beginning for a lot of what we're talking about. Like when we're talking about like movements and moving down south and growing our community, developing our community, etc. It starts with that foundation, bro. That foundation is so important. You know what I mean?
With the whole Liberia thing, to me, I don't even think that's necessarily a problem with history. My thing is just simple politics in general, simple strategy, simple geopolitical interest, nigga. If it's a place that we can have a satellite and we can branch out to, nigga, I don't give a fuck if that motherfucker is in Asia somewhere. Like it's the irrationality is crazy for somebody to just say fuck Africa when you start talking about Liberia, dog. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's not even. It doesn't have anything to do with history, really. It's just like, yo, you want some gold? You know what I mean? Like as simple as that. You know. But like, I'm just saying, like when you in any context, bro, you mention the word Africa, people they get triggered, bro. Like they don't want it. It's like, bro, what are you? I'm not saying like what's the problem, bro? You know what I mean? But like I said before, it's good that I'm opening people up for it, bro. Like, and they're not calling me a hotep or anything. They're not calling me because you know why, bro? I'm not being silly about it, bro. Like I'm not being crazy. People know me. They know that I'm very like level-headed about this. They know that I'm very mature. They know that I'm not walking around with the dashiki on right now. You know what I mean? With the Ashanti call off or whatever. They know that I'm not doing that. You know what I mean? They know that I'm not changing my name to like Sun Ra or whatever. You get me? They know that I'm not talking about like, oh, we're related to the Igbos because and that's why we're Jews or whatever. they know I'm not wearing a feather in my head. You know what I mean? You get me? The way I'm talking about Africa, bro, like, it's a very, like, just calm, like, just normal, bro. It's just normal. I'm not, like, romanticizing it or anything, bro. Like, I'm talking about, like, the fucked up things that Africans did, the good things that Africans have done, like, and where they went wrong. You know what I mean? Like, I'm really trying to, like, analyze that history. I'm not trying to, like, make myself feel better. I'm not trying to, like, have a one-up over white people or whatever. You get me? So, like, yeah, but you're right. Liberia has nothing to do with history. Like, do you want gold, bro? Here's some gold. Oh, it's Africa? Because it's in Africa, you don't want gold? But if it was like Cape Verde, you would be all on it. If it was like a bunch of Cape Verdeans in Liberia or whatever, Latinas in Liberia, you'd be all on it. You'd be like, yeah, let's go to Liberia. You know what I mean? What's up, G-Star?
Yo, what's good? In my head, I think it's fucked up how people don't empathize with the with the Black American repatriates, with the Black American immigrants that settled in Liberia. You know, it's really no empathy on the part of us, not us in this space, but collectively, at least the other ethno-nationalists on Twitter, they don't really show no empathy, you know? All of the bad things about Liberia, they kind of just like demonize the Americo-Liberians, and all of the good things, the white man did all the good things, you know? The fact that, you know, a republic was built almost over 150 years ago that still stands to this day. It wasn't Black Americans who built it. It was the ACS, the white man, you know. So all the good things about Liberia is given to white Americans. All the bad things automatically given to the so-called Americo-Liberians, and it's just no empathy, you know. Even with all the bad that they did, these people were survivors of one of the greatest atrocities known to mankind. And sure, they made a few mistakes, but they did the best with what they had, and their intentions matter more despite their mistakes, you know? These people didn't go over there with ill intentions. If they wanted to, they could have did what the Israelis doing to the Pakistanians right now. They could have did what the white Americans did to the Native Americans. They could have did what the Australians did to the Aboriginal Australians, but they did not do that. They went over there with good intentions, you know? And sure, they made some mistakes, like making sure that only people with a Western, quote-unquote, modern education were able to lead the country, and I don't think that's a damn bad thing. But, like, yeah, sure they made this fucked up things by modern-day standards, but this was in the 1800s. This was a time period that many of us aren't even able to comprehend and put our shoes in. These people did the best with what they got, so damn any mistakes that they made, who gives a fuck? Motherfuckers was fresh out of slavery, building a republic. Any mistake that they had, as long as their intentions were good, and their intentions were good, you know, fuck them mistakes, you know? These people, they did the best with what they had, well, with only the clothes on their back. It ain't like racist America was helping all that much, you know? So, it ain't like their former slave masters, you know, was setting up Liberia to be a great success, the same way they set up Israel to be a great success. We're talking about 1800s America, where on the law books it was written that our forefathers were seen as 3/5 of a human. It's fucking that country didn't help the Black American repatriates that went to Liberia. So we gotta stop giving credit. We gotta stop giving the credit of Liberia's successes to them. But yeah, I ain't really have nothing to say.
I have a question for you, and it's one question, but I'm gonna ask it in two different ways, right? And it's for everybody, really. Because I'm look at the history, bro. African Americans built a republic, right? And it ties into what you just said, G-Star, like the empathy and everything, right? Have we failed Liberia, and have we failed ourselves? That's the same question, but in two different ways, bro. Because I feel like we have, bro. Like, how we let this republic just, like, die. You know what I mean? Like, I'm seeing all these, like, the new politicians coming in trying to give land to Saudi fucking Arabia, bro. Since when? Well, why is that even, like, a conversation people are having? You know what I mean? Like, you have Americans You know what I mean? You have Americans who have you. We can invest, bro. We can give you. We're talking about direct investments. You know what I mean? Liberia can turn around overnight, and it would benefit us. You know what I mean? So have we failed Liberia, and have we failed ourselves, bro? It's the same question, but like in two different ways of asking. What do you guys think?
Of course, it's not a question. We should still be a part of that government, of course. So that means we got some wrongs to right. Right or wrong, whatever.
I don't necessarily think that either one is a failure. I think Black Americans did a pretty good job of building a republic right here in America with Continental Congress. It's just something that we couldn't hold. And I think the same thing is true about Liberia. I don't necessarily like to say anybody started anything with good intentions that usually ends up that way, because isn't that the excuse that most people use? So, I would just say that mistakes were made. I don't think that they were met out of evil. But a lot of people start off doing things out of good intentions that just don't turn out well. So mentioning the good intentions later on don't tend to the natives, because they still have to make peace in Liberia. So good intentions are not going to be what the natives who had to live under that's not going to be a good enough reason for them. So I think they're doing a good enough job really working that out themselves now, but I do think that they're doing other things besides saying that they just didn't mean that. I think they're doing the work to make it worth it.
The natives need to be honest about the situation. They got to stop viewing themselves as just innocent, victims or whatever. That was not the case. You know what I mean? I think that's where that's a big part that people miss, bro. These people were still selling slaves, bro. African, imagine that. You just left slavery, right? You go to your quote unquote homeland, your motherland, right? You land and you see Black Africans selling Black Africans to Europeans still.
But you have to remember where they came from. They were coming from America where there were slave owners, and some of them were being sold. And yes, there was even some Black people selling slaves during the time that they were here. So they were much more familiar with that environment because they had left something very similar in America. So it wasn't super shocking to them. It was more about how did they reconcile the fact that these people are doing something that they find abhorrent locally, but for them to be shocked that Black people were selling slaves, they wouldn't be shocked because Black people were selling slaves in America.
I'm just saying, I'm tired of.
I think they would be shocked. I let Rick go.
No, go ahead. I was gonna say, I'm just tired of this narrative that these native Liberians were noble savages, right? They didn't know any better. They're just walking around naked and hugging trees and eating berries and hunter gatherers or whatever. Come on, come on now.
Hey, I'm gonna just say something simple. I'm gonna just be straight up with it. You said that we failed Liberia. Of course we did. Look, if Liberia is not the most successful, at least one of the most successful countries on the African continent, that means we failed. By definition, if you didn't succeed, then you failed. So of course we did. Now we gotta fix it. Of course we failed, obviously.
Yeah, I think we are failing Liberia, bro. I think we're failing Liberia.
Bro, we ain't feel Liberia. Liberia failed when they tried to take it back. Simple as that. That's what
we failed for not stopping it. I don't know about you, but I have higher expectations for us. I do.
Oh, most definitely.
I agree. We did fail by not stopping it. But I do want to say this whole Americo-Liberian versus native things. It's definitely much more complex than a lot of people like to give credit for. There are 16 different ethnic groups in Liberia, and all of the natives weren't on one accord. So, to say that all natives, hated Liberia, hated the African American patriots, it's insane, What about the natives that were whose villages, whose farms, whose family were constantly being stripped away from them by bigger and more technologically advanced ethnic groups in the area, their rivals, that took their families, that destroyed all of their towns, that sold their brothers, their siblings, their mothers, their uncles, their fathers, that sold them, So it's like native Liberians were also a victim of the slave trade, And here you have a group of Black Americans who are, I want to say, fresh out of that hellhole, which they seen that their siblings, that seen that their family was being sold into. You think, and these Black Americans, when they came in, one of their goals was to end slavery in the area that they had influence in. You think the victims of the African slave trade that still remained in Africa but were indirect victims via, economic victims, like having your fucking hometown destroyed that you grew up in, having your culture wiped out, or having your family stripped away from you? You think those people would have also hated the African Americans who came into that area and who essentially laid their lives down on the line to end slavery in that area? Hell no. Those people look at the African Americans like, hell yeah, we with it. You want to end that shit? We want to end that shit too, because we are indirect victims as well, So it wasn't all Native Liberians that hated the African American patriots. It was mostly the ones that was involved in the slave trade. They saw the Black American repatriates as a group of people who came into the area and was gonna fuck up their money. They was making money off that shit. They was making money off selling slaves to the Europeans. And that's pretty much what it was all about. But the victims, the losers of that slave trade in that area, they definitely did not hate the American Liberians. Why would they hate the so-called American Liberians? When the American Liberians will be the ones who would be protecting them from the slave trade, to make sure that they wouldn't have to live in fear of a more bigger ethnic group coming into their village and essentially destroying and pillaging the place and stripping and splitting families apart from one another. No, those natives who were victims, they definitely didn't view the American Liberians that way. It was only the slave traders.
Yeah, and another thing, it's important to talk about that history, bro. You don't want to go in thinking that same way, they're victims. You got to be honest about who they were, bro, who they are. You know what I mean? Look at the Vice documentary, bro. You see them going around killing people. Come on now, dude. If you go into Liberia thinking they're gentle little people and they have guns or whatever, but you're gonna get, bro, you may not come back alive, bro, thinking like that, behaving like that. You know what I mean? I'm just being honest, bro. We hear all the time of Black Americans, African Americans getting killed in Africa, bro. You know what I mean? So you got to be honest about the history.
Oh, my bad.
Go ahead, T. Bro. It's open space.
I was about to say, bro, bro, these motherfuckers around that time, right? They was eating, bro. The people they killed, whether it be a tribe or whether it be American Liberians or whatever, they would literally eat these motherfuckers as soon as they killed them. You feel me? On some cannibalism shit. So, the moral of the story is, everybody gotta be held accountable. Fuck you talking about, nigga.
Yeah.
Got me fucked up. But and we need to swing. We need to swing back and set some structure up or something. Because a lot of these motherfuckers don't even hate Black Americans. You feel me? If you in some of these groups and shit, a lot of them don't even hate Black Americans. They just hate that we be claiming that Liberians are, which it is. But yeah.
But bro, I think with us, I see us and we can actually kind of wrap it up because I gotta catch a few games coming on, college football game. You know what I mean? But bro, I'm just gonna say this, dude. We gotta look at the situation. You know what I mean? We can't just start reaching for these different groups or whatever. When you have groups who are already reaching out to us, you have groups who we already have a shared history with. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Why are we talking about Yoruba Ifa? Why are we talking about Jewish ties and shit like that? You know what I mean? I'm not saying any sort of every relationship or whatever that we want to develop or whatever is going to work out in the end. You know, but I think some will, and it doesn't have to be perfect, but we got to even be mature about it, bro. This is the way the world works. You know what I mean? Maybe it's because I'm a very Western person, and this is a very Western thing to do. Is to form these kinds of transnational connections. You know what I mean? You see America doing it. You know, I remember when I was in overseas, right? And I was trying to do a course over there, right? And I was in France. And the lady said, yeah, everything's fine. You can finish your coursework here or whatever. And then I told her, I want to do this specific course, right? And she said, oh, you should go to Germany, right? Just go east. You know what I mean? Go at the border, whatever. Apply in like Germany, or whatever. You know why, bro? Because of like that kind of, so like you have like this sort of like spirit, right? I call it a Germanic spirit, Anglophone spirit, whatever. You have like and in it you have like these shared like programs, right? And like it's all like they're transferable, right? So you have like Canada, you have America, you have Australia, you have England, you have, and then somehow, I don't know how, but like, and it kind of makes sense if you look at the history, Germany was included, right? And so like that allowed me to like take that course there, and it would be transferred back to like my college here in America, right? And that's what I'm talking about, bro. I'm not talking about like loving, like getting, having like a glorified dating app or whatever, or start like having like random spaces with these people or whatever, and talk about like the past and shit like that, and start like just having like some sort of like weird support group with these people or whatever. I'm not talking about that, bro.
So like guns and shit, even though, you know, the Native Africans could get their hands on guns as well, because the British and the French were in the area colonizing places like the Ivory Coast and Sierra Leone, so they can easily strike up an arms deal with those governments. But like, my ultimate point was that these are like low level skirmishes, really low level skirmishes, right? If 100 people died, hell, if 50 people died in one of these Americo-Liberian versus Native wars, that was considered a high casualty. If 50 people died, you know, of course more than 50 people were wounded, right? You know, if you look at the news in Chicago, you can probably hear a lot of people get shot, right? But a lot of people don't die. Being wounded and being killed is two different things, right? There are more people that's wounded than more people that died. But in these Black American repatriates versus Native African wars, if only 50 people died, and that's combining the casualties on both sides, that was considered a high number. That was considered like, oh shit, that was a real serious battle, right? Now, if you compare this shit to like the Anglo-Zulu War, you had around like 6,000. You had around like 6,000, 7,000 people died, 4,000 people wounded on the African side, and probably like 2,000 people died on the British side. These wars were not like, you know, these so-called quote-unquote wars. It wasn't no serious shit. It wasn't no big shit. It was just small skirmishes, small battles, minuscule. I just wanted to put that into perspective, you know. When people talk about these wars, they might be picturing like, you know, when people talk about the wars between the Black American repatriates and the Native Africans, in their minds they probably might picture an empty desert with like thousands of people on both sides charging at each other. That shit wasn't like that at all. It wasn't like that at all. It was only some small shit that at most involved a few hundred people on both sides, and even the like Black American army in the area, the army that they established, the Liberian Frontier Force. You know, they rarely sent over like 100 troops, right? Most of their forces, most of the troops that they sent out to battle were probably under 100. If they sent out 200, if they sent out 100, if they sent out 150, then it was probably some big shit, right? But compare that to the British, who was sending out thousands upon thousands. I'm talking about like 30,000 people to South Africa to colonize the area, right? And here you have this little old Black American army that was established on the west coast of Africa called the Liberian Frontier Force, going against these so-called Africans who only probably sent out a few hundred of their men to fight in these wars as well. You know, it wasn't like no big shit, and it wasn't like no gigantic genocide. You know, I just wanted to put that in perspective, and I'll land right there.
Love it. Nah, that was good, bro. I feel like we really need to send like a very, like a big message about like Liberia's history. I don't know how that's gonna work, but there's no way. I don't know who's writing the history of Liberia, bro. Like how this sort of like common or popular idea of like Liberia spread and where it came from. We can kind of understand where it came from, but like the fact that it's so that it's persisted, bro, all these decades, you know what I mean? And people are just so misinformed about Liberia. And I feel like it's on us, you know what I mean, to really clarify that history before we even start getting serious about Liberia. We need to, like, you know what I mean, get serious about the history of Liberia, you know what I mean, and how it's sort of like talked about. You know, even the natives, bro. I don't like the way the natives are talking about the history of Liberia, trying to erase the founders of Liberia. And trying, bro, so yeah, something needs to be done, and we're gonna do it, bro. We're gonna do it. But yeah, this was a good space. If anybody has anything else to say, feel free. But I might start, I like these spaces, bro. Like late at night, not a lot of people, not a lot of trolls or whatever. You know what I mean? I might do this like every week, like once a week, I don't know, for like a few months or whatever. You feel me? But this is a good space. But yeah, I'll still be on spaces, you know what I mean? I like to fall asleep with some noise going on. I hate my thoughts, bro. I can't do that, bro. I can't go to sleep with my thoughts, bro, like that, bro. You know what I mean? Just listening to myself or whatever. But yeah, anyway, good talk. I'll talk to you guys later.
Don't forget to subscribe. Channel Raw TV, baby.